Hi friends, Steve here on Hollywood Boulevard in downtown Hollywood, California, and I'm standing in front of Melissa Gilbert's star. And I would say this is about as far away from Little House on the Prairie as you can be. If you're not familiar with the Western historical TV drama, it's about a young family living on a farm in rural Minnesota during the late 1800s, and it's based on the best-selling Little House books by author Laura Ingalls Wilder. And the popular series ran for 9 seasons, airing from 1974 to 1982. Actress Melissa Gilbert plays the role of the young Laura Ingalls, and so that's why I'm starting here today. Since starting this channel, I've had more requests in the comments section for me to do a vlog on this show than I've had on any other topic or show. So at the end of this video, I'm going to give a shout out to all of you who suggested it. I'm also going to show you a little bit of my trip out to Big Sky Ranch in Simi Valley, California, where many of the scenes were filmed. My trip out to Big Sky Ranch was a big disappointment, and I'll show you why near the end of this video. But my main goal today is to visit the final resting places of as many of the cast members that I can find who are laid to rest here in the Southern California area who are no longer with us. Actor Michael Landon was the star of the show, playing Charles Ingalls, the father of the family. He's laid to rest here at Hillside Memorial Park in Culver City, California, in the main mausoleum that you see here at the top of the hill, within his own smaller family mausoleum. To find his crypt, you just enter through the main doors, and then just walk straight back past the open-air courtyard, and then you'll see these private rooms on the left-hand side with glass doors, and his will be the last room that you come to. Landon sadly died from pancreatic cancer at the young age of 54 on July 1st, 1991 in Malibu, California. And even though his life and career were cut short, he certainly left a lasting legacy with 3 of the most popular characters in TV history. He'll always be remembered for his role as Little Joe Cartwright on Bonanza, Charles Ingalls on Little House on the Prairie, and Jonathan Smith on Highway to Heaven. It's also apparent that he really cared about his fans. While many celebrities are buried in private mausoleums and cemeteries where fans are not able to visit, it's really nice to see that Landon chose a spot where fans can visit. The San Gabriel Cemetery is located around 27 miles northeast of Culver City, and this is where former football player and actor Merlin Olsen is laid to rest. To find his gravesite is pretty easy. You just enter through the front gates and drive straight ahead a short distance until you see a second set of gates on the left-hand side. You enter these gates and make a right and just go straight ahead to the very end and just park before the street curves to the right. If the street continued straight ahead instead of turning to the right, it would take you directly to Merlin Olsen's gravesite, which is located in Section or Block N. Olsen died in Duarte, California, which is not far from the cemetery, from mesothelioma cancer on March 11, 2010, at the age of 69. His role on the show was that of farmer John Garvey. Kevin Hagen, who played Dr. Hiram Baker, died from esophageal cancer in Grants Pass, Oregon, on July 9, 2005, at the age of 77. He has a cenotaph or memorial marker at Hillcrest Memorial Park Cemetery, also in Grants Pass, Oregon. Katherine MacGregor, who played Harriet Olsen on the show, died on November 13, 2018, in Woodland Hills, California, at the age of 93. Unfortunately, her final resting place is unknown at this time. Another one of the cast members who's buried out of state is actor Greer. And a while back, subscriber Stephanie Womack visited his gravesite and sent me these photos to share with everyone. Greer played Reverend Robert Alden on the show, and he's laid to rest at Peace Valley Cemetery in Anderson, Missouri. He died on April 28, 2007, at the age of 90 in Pasadena, California, which is just next door to the San Gabriel Cemetery where I am now. Sadly, at least to me, a number of the cast members were cremated and have no final resting places to visit. Actor Victor French, who played Isaiah Edwards, died from lung cancer at the age of 54 on June 15, 1989, in Los Angeles. He was cremated, and his ashes were reportedly scattered at sea. Richard Bull played Nels Olsen, and he was also cremated. He died from pneumonia in Calabasas, California on February 3, 2014, at age 89. Karl Swenson played Lars Hansen, and he died from a heart attack on October 8th, 1978 at the age of 70, and his ashes were reportedly given to his family. In one of those memorable moments of serendipity that seem to happen a lot on this channel, subscriber Robin Smith sent me these photos from her trip to visit the gravesites of some of the real members of the Ingalls family. They're laid to rest at the Smet Cemetery in South Dakota. Mother Carolyn Ingalls died at the age of 84 on April 20th, 1924. Father Charles Ingalls died at the age of 66 on June 8th, 1902. And unfortunately, after all of these years, his grave marker is almost illegible. Daughter Mary Ingalls lived to the age of 63, dying in Keystone, South Dakota on October 20th, 1928. Daughter Carolyn Ingalls lived to the age of 75, dying in Rapid City, South Dakota on June 2nd, 1946. The baby son of A.J. Wilder and Laura Ingalls Wilder is also buried here. He died on August 7th, 1889, at the age of 27 days. Thanks so much, Robin, for sharing these grave sites and your visit with us today. The good news is that many of the Central cast members are still alive. Now, I mentioned earlier that I took a special trip out to see the Big Sky Ranch, where many of the scenes from the series were filmed in Simi Valley, California. It's about a half hour to an hour drive from Hollywood, depending on the time of day and traffic, and I thought you might like to see some of it. So as I drive, I'm going to update you on some of the other cast members. Karen Grassel, who played Carolyn Ingalls, the mother on the show, is now 78 years old. Melissa Gilbert, who played Laura Ingalls, is now 56 years old. Melissa Sue Anderson, who played Mary Ingalls, is now 57 years old. Lindsay and Sidney Greenbush, the twins who together played Carrie Ingalls, are now 50 years old. Matthew Laborato, who played Albert Ingalls, is now 53 years old. Jonathan Gilbert, who played Willie Olsen, is also now 53 years old. Allison Arngrim, who played Nellie Olsen, is now 58 years old. And Dean Butler, who played Almanzo Wilder, is now 64 years old. As I continue my drive to the ranch, I want to give a shout out and a thank you to all of you who suggested that I do this vlog, and there are quite a few of you. Thank you, Plymouth Duster, Andrea Matthias, Kev TN 1357, Jerry Manley, Paula Brown, Shirley Harrison, John Carruthers, Vicky Howe, Miss Sunshine, I Love Slapstick, Katina Clater, Michael Knack, Lauren 55, Paula Luckylope, Rebecca Zessin, Tracy Floyd, Melina Long, Karen, John H., Paulette Aguilar, Shirley Harrison, Peter Parker, aka Spider-Man the Hero, Olivia Solis, Rebecca Thomas, Betty Stewart, Caroline Smell, Donna Cox, Abby, Tamitha Farisha, Monorail Beyond the Veil, Gypsy 0216, Russell Raby, CDK and B Treadway, Aunt J10, Ms. Zippy 64, Tommy Collins, The King, Eileen Edmonds, Robin Smith, Marianne Lockwood, Sexy Sergeant 123, Buckle Bunny, Dave Hyde, Kimberly Linehan, Tupelo Miss, Kate Bartlett, The Paws from Oz, F. Creceptor, Miles High, Alexander Patrick, Fat Baby 73, and Sue Volker. Phew, that's quite a few fans. And did you happen to notice that giant happy face on the side of the hill a while back on the freeway? I think that by itself has made this trip worthwhile for me. As you've probably noticed, I'm pretty easily amused and entertained. Now, I've seen many YouTubers come here and film the Big Sky Ranch. And when I arrived here today, the gates were open, so I drove right in. But within 30 seconds, a very large truck started following me and cut me off before I got to the end. It was the security guard, and he wanted to know what I was doing. I explained, and then he told me it was private property and not open to the public. So unfortunately, I had to turn around without seeing anything, and then he locked the gate behind me. So I'm not sure how the other YouTubers got in, but if any of you happen to know, please leave me a comment and let me know, and I'll try again. As some of you already know, I enjoy the drive to and from a destination sometimes as much as the destination, if not more. And none of the other YouTubers that I've watched have shown the drive, So for me, it wasn't a complete waste of time, it was just a bit disappointing. This is about as close as I could get, and you can see the gate up ahead is the one that is normally locked. I think the area where they filmed is probably just 50 to 100 yards away, so it's a bit frustrating to be this close and not be able to see the actual sets. But if I've learned anything from my travels over the years, it certainly helps to be flexible and persistent. So hopefully I'll be back soon and have much more luck the second time around. It's about 150 miles from the ranch here to Palm Springs where I live, and a 2 to 3 hour drive on the weekend when there's not much traffic. I'm here on a weekend, and if they happen to only be open during the middle of the week, then the drive could easily be 4 to 5 hours one way. So fingers crossed that if I can get in the future, that it's on a weekend. This week I want to give a shout out and a very big thank you to my newest Patreon supporters, Karen Tomlinson, Andre, Max Wells, and Peggy Schwalbach. Thank you so much, Karen, Andre, Max, and Peg, for your generous donations, which continue to make trips like this possible in the future. And hopefully soon I can once again start taking longer road trips around the country as well. So I'm home now and it's time to call it a day, so until our next trip down memory lane together, happy travels everybody.